Hey, DVC fan, and welcome to this special live stream edition of the DVC show. Where are we?
We're in a cabin at Fort Wilderness.
That's all we need tonight. We're in a cabin. That makes my day. Yeah, we are at the new cabins at Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort. We have been here for the past 2 days, collecting basically every piece of content we can possibly find about the resort.
Yeah, we even took one for the team and stayed in an old cabin first, just so we had the knowledge.
Just for the knowledge and the
I'm
comparison.
just kidding. It was all we could get into last night.
It's a good comparison, though. I think some people are kind of like, what's the difference? How different are they?
Big difference.
We've even had Disney Vacation Club cast members say, do you like them more than the old cabins? And we're kind of like, yeah, we can honestly say yes now because we've stayed in both. So I think it was a great comparison, and we've had an awesome time here over the past few days. So we're going to spend probably the better part of the next hour and a half with you all, answering all of your questions related to the new cabins at Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort, giving some of our initial impressions of kind of what we thought and all of that fun stuff. But in case you missed it, we did put it was like a trailer to this video. I didn't even know that was a YouTube thing until about like 45 minutes ago. But I did put a small trailer of the overview video that we had of the cabins that we posted yesterday. We do have a more official, what I call the Amy Krieger room tour version of that coming up very soon. The internet here, at least at the old cabin, was terrible. So hopefully it's being a lot better.
Some improvement.
It seems to have improved here because people are listening to us right now. So, and actually responding in the comments. So you must be able to hear us. It must work. I'm at least recording it if not. And for all of you audio listeners out there, hi, a couple days later. You're now listening to this after I get to post it. But we have the full kind of Amy Krieger version of a room tour where we go over every nook and cranny of the place. That'll be coming up very soon. Probably tomorrow we'll go up our day one vlog of the grand opening celebration here at the cabins. There were some small things going on, but nothing too major. And we really just took the opportunity to really acclimate ourselves with the cabins at Fort Wilderness.
Yeah, we have been all over this property, and this is the most in-depth we've ever been.
I feel like with a resort,
we forgot to go to one place today. Do you know what it is?
The sketchy tent area?
No, but it's around there. We forgot to go to the dog park.
Oh yes, I got sidetracked.
We have to go tomorrow.
Amy took me on an adventure. We were gonna try to find the dog park, and then we saw an ice cream truck.
Oh, that's what happened.
And so I'm like a squirrel. I'm very easily distracted by ice cream. And we ended up grabbing ice cream, and then I got the text message that our cabin was ready, so I just drove us over to the cabin. So we do have to go to the dog park
tomorrow.
Soon. There's also we checked out a tent camping area, but there's also like a separate tent camping area that says it's, what's the word that they use? Primitive tent camping. Not entirely sure what that means, but we want to go check out that area of the resort tomorrow morning before we head out. But yeah, I think you said it. Like it's the most in-depth we've ever done. So we've got that day one vlog coming up.
Yeah.
I will then edit it.
We even
kayaked, yes. As much as Amy originally, you will see, she was like, nope, not going to do it. There's gators in them waters, but I got her out there. So we kayaked. We'll have another video coming up of today's kind of adventures that we went on. We went to an amazing breakfast sponsored by Disney Vacation Club that members staying here at Fort Wilderness were invited to, as well as it seems like most of the guests staying over at Wilderness Lodge were also invited to that breakfast as well. So that was fun today. That'll be coming up in another video. I feel like I'm forgetting some other video that I'll probably be posting. I remember saying that we were going to have like 5 videos, but we just want to bring you the most in-depth coverage of the new Disney Vacation Club cabins. So that's what we are going to do. But before we talk any more, in case you haven't seen the cabins yet, we're going to spend the next 3 minutes showing them to you. So sit back, enjoy kind of the peaceful banjo playing. It is not Amy playing the banjo. I tried to record
not
her.
That good.
She refused. But nice, peaceful banjo playing music for you audio listeners out there. Just enjoy the music for the next 3 minutes, and we'll be back and we'll talk all about the cabins, okay? So here you go. Here is a quick first look at the new cabins at Disney's Fort Wilderness. There you have it. The new cabins at Disney's Fort Wilderness. That's going to be the whole show tonight, guys. We're leaving now. That's it. No, I scared Amy halfway through that because first off, she didn't know that our mic was muted. But like, I'm over here. The music that I picked for that video, I'm just going to say it's the best music ever. Nope. Okay, fine. I was dancing along with it, but so yeah, we have settled into our new cabin. We filmed the cabin, took pictures, all of that kind of stuff, and then just have had probably the better part of the last 2 or 3 hours just to chill out. So
yeah,
what are your thoughts?
Okay, there's so much mixed feelings out there, and if you're into the rustic vibe of the current cabins that are, the older cabins that are mostly still here that look like log cabins, I get it. This is not them. This is completely different. And I understand it if that was your aesthetic, why you would be bummed out, and I totally do feel for you. I wish that they could have kept half of those and half of these, and you could choose what you wanted, or maybe a quarter of those. Yeah. But these are more our style, and DVC members in general, not speaking for all of them, but DVC members are used to deluxe hotels and pretty touches and amenities, and this has a lot of that. Not all of it, but it has a lot of that. We've got beautiful flooring, really pretty furniture, gorgeous cabinets in backsplash. We've got the amenities that are missing out of, because we just spent last night in an old cabin. When you go into the bathroom and you're trying to put your contacts in, the mirror is far away. The lighting is really dim, so it's hard to see and do those things. This is so bright, and there's a nice makeup mirror, and you know what I mean? And charging, there's not really a shortage of outlets in the old cabins, but there's no modern updated. No, you don't have the USB ports and the USB-C ports and those sorts of things. And then it's kind of dim. The old cabins are kind of dark. And if you want to open the windows, I don't know if you looked behind the curtain in the bathroom, but that window was full of cobwebs.
Oh, nice.
So I didn't touch it. Yeah. Now, we did think that those cabins were in good shape.
They were in much better shape than I anticipated them being in, and that's what I understand now why they're probably reselling them, because overall it is definitely still in a decent shape where if someone wanted to purchase one and live in one, they're good.
Yeah.
But you nailed it with kind of just the dark colors. It is that dark rustic cabin feel.
A lot of wood.
Yeah, a little bit of a mustiness to the cabin.
It was a little bit musty.
and also just the layout as compared to this and all of the space you feel like you have in this.
Yeah.
And we recently just got a question. Let's see. Justin said, are these larger or smaller or the same size as the old cabins? So the footprint of the cabin sits on the same pad as the original cabin did.
But I gotta tell you, this feels bigger. And not only that, but I've looked at tons of photos and tons of videos of these cabins before coming, and I was just like, yeah, they're cute. Watching them on a screen and being here in person, two completely different feelings, I feel like. I feel like it feels so big and open. And one of the things we just really fell in love with these cabins. One of the things that is so cool to me, and you don't get this from a video or very many photos, is that I can look around and we've got all these windows up here, which if you want them closed, you can move the blinds and close them. But, up you've got all these windows and they're up real high. And when you look up in them, all you see is this canopy of trees. And it just feels like I'm just like in this tree house or in the forest, or you know what I mean? It feels so, just trees are pretty. And, I look out the kitchen window and it's trees, and I look out there and it's trees. I don't know. There's just something about the atmosphere inside this cabin.
And what's weird is that I think we kind of knew we would love these before we actually set foot in these. And I also want to preface everything that we're saying with the fact that we were not invited to a sponsored media event by Disney. None of that. We paid cash for the first night that we stayed in the older cabins,
Yeah.
and then we used our points to stay the second night in these cabins. So these are our honest reviews and our honest feedback. But that being said, initially when they announced the cabins, Amy and I just kind of said, I think we're really going to like this concept because it does kind of remind us of home a little bit. And the one big selling feature, which they continue to reiterate, we've heard multiple Disney Vacation Club cast members say it this past week, is that you can bring your dogs with you. And we have seen a lot of dogs, specifically a lot of dogs on golf carts.
Right? I don't know how people get their dogs to sit on golf carts.
I would be petrified.
There's no way I would ever. No way. Yeah, there are very few misses here for me. Very few. A lot of people are bummed out about the fact that there's no washer and dryer. I get that.
Yep.
I completely understand. And I feel like there's room, that there could have been one right there instead of that extra sink. Now, some people, we'll get into this in a little bit, some people have an extra sink.
Yep.
Over here, some people have a cabinet, and we think it's related to accessibility. We don't have an accessible cabin that has the ramp outside, but we do have extra space around our toilet, bars around our toilet, and a cabinet. The cabinet is moved to where the sink would be. So ours is a little bit different, and that is not the one that you saw in that 3-minute video. That was a friend's. That let us see theirs yesterday.
Yes. Huge shout out to Thomas and Daniel for letting us see their cabin yesterday. And also make sure that you watch the day one vlog video that we put up, because we actually talked with Thomas and Daniel a little bit about their cabin and also the fact that they bought at Disney's Fort Wilderness.
Yeah.
And so they chose to add on, I think it was a 50-point contract at the resort, and they're staying here for the week of 4th of July, and they're absolutely in love. They also pointed out a couple small little random things that, again, are misses. But for me, it's also just, we look at these things under a microscope these days, given what we do for a daily living. And the craftsmanship and the build quality of this
is compared to other refurbishments and things that we've seen is excellent here. Excellent.
Not even refurbishments, but the Disneyland Hotel, like the DVC tower there.
Yeah.
Like there were drywall
there
anchors,
are holes in the walls, and
and there were big things that we kind of said this was not looked at from a functional nature.
Yeah.
Now we've got a couple of those here, and we'll get to those, but like again, just the craftsmanship of this. The only thing that I'll say related to that is these things are beautiful. I feel like Fort Wilderness cabin living, though, is a different kind of lifestyle, and
it is.
And I do slightly worry just about how these things age over time. And I think I've said that with.
Well, you've got people that are bringing their dogs. So this was funny in the older cabin we stayed in last night. There's this one spot. Like low on the door, on the wood, with the door frame, that is scratched, like all scratched the heck of back from like here to here. It's like this much, and it's just low enough, and it's not on a side where anything's hitting it. So it's like, is that where just dogs go and just let me out?
Yeah.
I don't know, but they couldn't do that here. This is all metal framing, so
metal framing glass, so they'd have to break the glass.
Which, I mean, I don't know how crazy a dog could be, but.
So let's unpack just kind of the cabin room by room a little bit, just to kind of look at everything.
Yeah, and we're getting so many good questions, so we'll definitely go back and answer those questions.
Yeah.
But definitely just want to give you just every piece of information possible.
Yep. So living room first, I guess. The main living space of the cabin is, again, one unified room right here. So we're sitting basically at the dining room or the kitchen table, which is where our screens and all of the technology is right now. And we moved 2 of the chairs over, so it does seat 4 right here.
Also, if I could steal this table, I would totally. I mean, I love this table and chair set.
And then behind us, you've got the lovely queen-size Murphy bed and couch, which is there. There's also a coffee table behind us as well. Giant 65-inch smart television, and then off to the side, another chair.
And the coffee table can also double as a bench because it's got that kind of padded on it, and it also opens up and has storage.
Yeah. What is your favorite part of this?
The windows up here,
Yeah,
with the trees and everything. Yeah, and the cabinets are this kind of grayish, light gray color. They're very pretty. The colors in here are so pretty. The green, that blue of the door behind us. If anyone stays in a cabin and can figure out what that color is called, the screen is not doing it justice. I can tell you that right now. It is so pretty. I want to paint it in our house.
Yep. Elaine said the table only sits 4, even though the cabin sleeps 6. That is true, but you could probably pull up the coffee table and put it right here at the end where we're sitting if you wanted to.
Because it's a bench, and then there's another chair right here that you could easily pull up. So the 4 chairs are on the side, or I don't know what sides, the long sides.
Yeah.
So you could pull the chair over to the other side and the bench over to one of these sides, and you could sit 6 here.
I think they made that call just because you are running out of room on both sides of this.
It would be crowded with 6 of these chairs.
Yeah, you wouldn't get the fridge open if you put a chair down on that end, and it would just become more crowded than it needed to be. And I imagine that Disney Vacation Club also probably runs the numbers to a degree and kind of looks at what's the average number of guests that stay in a room, and maybe make some decisions based off of that. But you could make the seating work if you did really want to use the cabin from that. One big win in this area for me is just I've got 2. I've got, as we've done more technology over the years, I have more equipment that I need to plug in. So I am very much in love with as many outlets as possible. And you've got plenty of outlets, just regular outlets all over the place, as well as USB, USB-Cs, anything that you would possibly need in terms of that. And then also another big win for me was when I opened up one of the cabinets.
This is so West Virginia.
This is very West Virginia, and we mentioned this in one of our videos, but we have mason jars that we drink out of at home, and they have mason jars that we get to drink out of here at the cabins. So maybe it's the West Virginia in us, but this was something that I thought
if you said this, I'm so sorry. I was just thinking of everything I wanted to say. A big difference between the older cabins and this is that we have a full stove. You didn't say that, right?
No, I did not.
Okay. So in the older cabins, first of all, you had a lot less cabinet space, and you did have a fridge, a microwave, and a dishwasher, but instead of an oven, you had just a cooktop that had a couple burners on it, and there was no oven. So this is a full kitchen. You have every appliance that you could possibly need. You have everything in the cabinets to cook with, and a decent amount of countertop space as well. And there's even a disposal in the sink, which is nice.
Yeah.
This feels very deluxe.
Yes, it does. KP Dance Center actually said a tour guide said the red stools, which I'm currently using, as
they could be stools.
They could be stools.
Okay.
They could actually sit at the ends of the table.
So that's another option. So so to us they look like little end tables, but you're right, they also look like stools. So you could do that as well.
I may question sitting on it. I don't know.
I think they look pretty sturdy.
All right. To each their own. Take your own risks. But yeah, so I think those were a lot of the major wins in just the general area here. I've heard some people comment on just the giant drapes and the giant curtains that are over here.
Them.
I think they have to do something for privacy reasons there. So it's either more of the clackety chained pull down. You know what I'm talking about.
They're actually but they're very smooth. These are not Old Key West. You're not going to break your knuckles putting these up and down.
These are not Old Key West. I'm partially surprised that they did spin for like an automated or electric.
Must have been not in the budget.
I love just, this brings so much color into here. And this has been a complaint that Amy and I have mentioned about some of the refurbishments and things that they've done to resorts. Is that they've sucked the color out of it. They've sucked any Disney really out of it, and they've just gone with the plain gray look or just some basic colors.
This is so pretty.
This is beautiful.
And the curtains have Chip and Dale on them. They're cute if you really look at them in person, and the colors are nice. They feel clean and fresh. So but you can have, if you don't like them, you can just open them up and have all this glass and have everyone see your business and what's going on in your cabin, because you can see straight into some the ones that have them wide open, especially in the evening. So just
Yeah.
be aware of that.
So let's head into the main bedroom area. So for sleeping, you again do have the pull down Murphy bed, which I've now realized we never pulled down and we forgot to film. So we get
But
to
we filmed it in the other cabin, so it's identical.
we'll do it again because my OCD will get the best of me. But
Right. He'll make me put the same shirt on.
same shirt, microphone in same spot. Yeah, we'll do that again. We have done that before. Just FYI, we do forget things from time to time. It's just a whirlwind of an adventure as we're going through here. But so for sleeping, you do have the pull down queen bed right here that you can utilize as a bed. It does, I would say, if you are sleeping 6 in here, it's going to get crowded. It's the same thing we say probably about a studio
with studios
accommodation.
and 5 people or even 4 people.
Yeah.
In some
So
of them.
if you're comfortable in that space and your family's very close, great. But if it's maybe just friends or something, I would spring for a 1 bedroom or a 2 bedroom and just have a little bit of privacy associated with it. But so you've got the pull down queen size bed, and then in the main bedroom area, you've got another queen size bed, and then 2 small twin bunk beds.
Yeah, they're so cute. So I'm going to tell you, they're hard to get in and out of if you're old like me. Paul had to stand behind me and make sure I didn't fall. And pro tip, do not wear socks when you are going up the ladder. Because it's slickery.
I was very concerned.
They're metal. It's very pretty. It's very nice.
And yes, she said slickery. Yes. But no, I agree. I climbed up to the top bunk as well. It's very sturdy, so definitely going to hold you if you are an adult and you do want to plan to sleep there. The length, I think, of the beds is
it wasn't. Yeah, you were too long, I think.
It's my 5'10".
Even though he's not what his license says. His license says 5'10". He's like 5'7.5". I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
Because
thanks for the half.
I'm 5'6.5", so I could fit in that bed, in those bunk beds, pretty comfortably. He was touching kind of the bottom with his feet, so he was a little bit too tall. And then the other thing about them that's kind of interesting is that in true theme camping fashion, when you look at them, they look like they have a blanket comforter quilt on them, but it's not. That is actually the fitted sheet object, I guess, the cover. So it's fitted, it goes over, and what you're supposed to sleep with are those rolled up
sleeping bags.
Yeah, they're sleeping bags. That white rolled up thing is a sleeping bag. So if you're sleeping on those, you get a sleeping bag.
Yeah. So no sheet under there.
Yeah.
And that was something that we saw, and we were like, we pulled the the cover off of, and we're like, oh yeah, that's just a mattress under there. There's no sheets or anything else.
Like you said, where's the video of Amy trying to slickery her way out? All hands were on deck to help me get out of there.
Yeah. But plenty of space in the bedroom area, plenty of storage in the bedroom area.
Yeah, there's drawers under the bunk bed, there's the dresser, there's the wardrobe, so a lot of space.
The open concept in terms of the bed frame, so that you can put your luggage underneath the bed. So just plenty of space. Again, plenty of charging in there. There is another flat screen smart TV.
Same. It looks like it's around the same size.
Yeah.
They're both big TVs.
Yeah. So another large TV in there, and just beautifully themed space. Someone said Mike said, can you count the amount of Chippendales? There has to be 5 or more sightings of them in the cabins.
We'll have to look.
We will have to look, but in going through my count, when I saw your comment come in, I was up to 4 at least, and so I'm definitely missing at least 1. And I'm guessing...
There's 5?
There's 5. So there's a picture
back there. Out there.
They're on the curtains.
Yeah.
They're on the wall back there. They're also on the bunk beds, I believe.
Yeah.
I imagine if you
I bet they're because they're sleeping.
Yeah.
There's characters sleeping.
There definitely are at least 5 references to Chippendale throughout the cabins as well. So. And Ryan said, sorry if you already said this, but do you think an adult can fit in the bunk beds? Primary children? It depends, I think, on height more than anything. I would say.
Yeah, I was comfortable 5'6.5". Paul, we're gonna say 5'7.5", not 5'10". He was a little bit too tall. So I would say like 5'8" is probably too tall. You could probably do it if you kind of curl up in a ball, but you might not be comfortable. But yeah. But just keep in mind that you are sleeping with a sleeping bag.
This is, if we need anyone to test this theory, though, it's this man.
I would love to see.
Mr. Derek, if you are free either later tonight or by tomorrow morning, I will pay you in all of the IPAs you want to come and get a picture in one of these bunk beds, because your tall frame in one of them will just... that'll break the internet, I'm pretty sure. But Derek, if any of you need a DVC resale contract, dvcresalemarket.com. Derek and all of the amazing sales associates over at DVC Resale Market can assist with that. And again, thank you to World of DVC, who is the primary sponsor for everything we do on DVC Fan, DVC Resale Market, Monera Financial, and DVC Rental Store. Of those three companies, just FYI, your best opportunity to get into a cabin right now is going to be DVC
Rental Store. Yeah,
is going to be renting points, and also most likely renting points within the 0 to 7 month window versus the 7 to 11 month window, and that's a little bit challenging right now. I will say overall it's hard to get into the cabins, and that is mainly because there's so few declared right now,
and there's not very many owners.
Yeah, so currently there are about, I would say, 30 to 40 cabins that are currently open in the resort, and I don't even know if there's that many total cabins. They've definitely not declared all of those. The entire resort, though, I believe is converted to Disney Vacation Club. So if you're booking with points at the moment, you are guaranteed that you are going to get one of these newer cabins, and all of the other cabins, all of the remaining 350 or 320 or so that are left, those are going to be for cash reservations at this time. And the full completion of this project isn't until probably mid to late 2025. So they're taking their time. We also drove around the resort, and we've got some video from this week that we'll put up on YouTube eventually whenever it uploads. You can see the cabin construction going on, and we thought that these were being fabricated off-site. The sections are being fabricated. So a wall section, so the front, the back, the sides, I think, are being fabricated, but
they're building them here. Yeah. As a matter of fact, the ones that we have driven by and got some footage, they are completely just putting the frames up. There's no, the siding or whatever is on the front isn't even there yet. The inside is completely empty. So they're definitely building everything, except for the pre-made walls and stuff, right here on property. So that's pretty neat.
Y Sykes said, where is the storage for folks using the Murphy bed in the living room? Might be a couple, but in terms of clothes and things, I would say your primary storage out here is going to probably be in the actual coffee table.
And it's not a lot, I'm not going to lie, but there is, and this is going to depend, and we're going to move and talk on the bedroom or the bathroom area, but in ours, there is a wardrobe in this hallway over here, which is right by the bathroom, right next to the bathroom. And when you open that up, there is space to hang clothes. There is your ironing board and some other essentials. But not every cabin has that. Some cabins have an extra sink right there. They still have that same cabinet, but it's a smaller version inside the bathroom. So there would be still some storage in there as well. I'm going to say, though, a majority of the storage is going to be in the bedroom. It would definitely be tight with 6 people, but any studio that sleeps 5 is going to be just as tight on storage.
And again, we're not 100% sure what makes that designation or difference, and we don't know if there's any way that you could actually request one versus the other. So if you preferred having the 2 sinks versus having the larger kind of storage area out here, I don't know if that's a request that you could make and that they could help potentially fulfill.
And so this, I question if this is some type of accessible, but we've seen other ones where some other people have this as well. Again, we do not have one of the cabins with a wheelchair ramp outside. We have the stairs to get up, onto the deck. It's just that in our bathroom, there's more space around the toilet. The toilet's a little bit elongated. there are some bars, grab bars near it. And then the cabinet is moved out to the hallway. And because there's more space in the hallway, it's a larger cabinet. And so we don't have that extra sink there.
Yeah. Cameron, who is one of our amazing Patreon supporters, patreon.com/DVCfan. If you would like to support us on Patreon and see some other behind the scenes photos, maybe that's the first place that I'll probably put the photo of Amy in the bunk bed or Derek in the bunk bed if he comes over. But Cameron said, does your cabin have a walk-in shower or a tub shower combo? And it is a walk-in shower.
Yeah, and we've not seen any with a tub. So, and now I will say that when we said this at Disneyland, we were wrong, there were some that had tubs.
So there could be a few that they build.
As of right now, we have seen what? We've seen a model. We've seen, was it Daniel and
Yep.
Michael?
Thomas?
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, Thomas. Thomas and Daniel's, we've seen theirs and we've seen ours. So we've seen 3, and there's only like 20 or 30 in this loop that are done. So no tubs as of yet. And that's one of my misses. And it's not even just personal preference. I love having a bathtub. I would rather have that any day over a walk-in shower. But this is a very family-oriented villa. Yes. And families of young children need tubs to bathe their children. So I do think that's a miss. There's no reason that they could not have done a tub shower combo. There was plenty of space there for it. So that's my main complaint.
And you hit the nail on the head when you say that this is a family-themed cabin. This is a family-themed resort. Yeah. I think... and I noticed this the other day from just some of the media covering the media coverage. Disney Vacation Club was very selective in focusing on media outlets that focused on family coverage, parenting, all of those type of things, because those are the people that I think the cabins are going to appeal most to. And again, we put up a video not too long ago talking about, why were the cabins a bust? And I think we do have to back up a degree and say they're a bust in the traditional Disney Vacation Club members' eyes in terms of what we are, accustomed to. But I think Disney's playing a gamble to a certain degree and saying we wanted to make an accommodation that was very, very family oriented, that really could sleep that 6th person in a 1-bedroom that overall was cheap on points.
Yeah.
And I think they've delivered on that. The question remains, how long, are these people going to come? Are these newer members going to come? Or are the people that stay here at Fort Wilderness that traditionally have stayed in the older cabins, are they going to buy into Disney Vacation Club? And I don't know that we will actually know the answer to that question for the better part of a year or more as those people come and they do their traditional cash stay or the week that they stay here. I think this week is a great testament to that. This is 4th of July week. This is one of the busiest weeks at Fort Wilderness. You have the people that come here every year for 4th of July, do the golf cart parade. We've seen some crazy golf carts. There are people even in the new cabin loop already decorating their balcony and everything. So it is a culture here at Fort Wilderness.
Yeah, it's a whole vibe. Yeah. It really is. And it's different.
And the ultimate question is, will they buy into this
we'll
concept?
See. And and someone asked, and I just saw the comment kind of flip up, and it said, are there tours? And if not, is it a missed opportunity? They are doing tours. They actually have 2 model cabins. They are in one of the RV loops, the one actually right by Pioneer Hall. So you can see them from Pioneer Hall. And I mean, we've seen a lot of people going into them. And just hearing the people talking and hearing them talking about, are the point charts available online? These are people that aren't DVC people that I've seen to them taking in. And this morning, we had a little confusion this morning. We did the breakfast and we went to, in our defense, it was a little bit slightly disorganized because you walked up to go to breakfast and you're like, where do I check in? There's all these people and you just go up to someone and they're like, hello, what's your name? Oh, okay, great. It's just the 2 of you, right? And so they've got you down, and here you think you're checking in for breakfast, but you're checking in for a cabin tour. And so they took us over to this cabin, but they took us over with,
Oh
18
man,
other
yeah,
people,
huge amount of
and they
people.
crammed 18 people in the cabin. We're just kind of like, okay, we just went because they told us to come, and we already saw one, but we'll just stand to the side. But,
Stand in the sun and roast.
right, yeah.
But
So they are touring it. Now I do think there are more individualized tours, and those are longer, where you sit down with a guide and they go over numbers. So if you're willing to do one of those. But otherwise, yeah, so the DVC booth that is right over there by Pioneer Hall, if you are interested in touring a cabin, you would want to stop there and ask first. And if they have availability, they'll do it. Yesterday, we actually stopped by and they didn't have any availability until late at night.
they did not. They were pretty booked up. But
Yeah.
again, I think at that point they were doing like 1 hour tours.
Yeah.
So it was a longer tour, probably more dedicated with a guide
Mhm.
who would walk you through and then also sit you down to talk about the purchasing process. And I think that's a big difference here as compared to what we've seen more recently with Disney Vacation Club properties, is that I think DVC has realized that they have to sell these things. And so,
Mhm.
even today during the Disney Vacation Club breakfast, in which they had people come over from Wilderness Lodge, Boulder Ridge, Copper Creek,
Mhm.
and then whoever was staying at the cabins, those were also invited to the breakfast as well. But Dottie Clendenin, Shannon Statsky, they were up on stage talking about the cabins. And you want to talk about, in my opinion, bringing out the big guns of Disney Vacation Club.
Yeah.
These are people that have been associated with this brand for so many years, and to have them come and present that really just shows that I think they're acknowledging that they're going to
Yeah.
have to sell this more
Yeah.
at this property.
I think that people signed up for the breakfast that didn't go either, because there was empty tables that were set.
Yeah, and we were the front row,
They
and no one
put-
else came
yeah.
on our row. So
And I don't think it was for anything special for us. It's
No.
just that they put us right up front of the stage.
there was a small table for
and
two.
the other two tables that were in front didn't come. So we were so awkwardly up in the front by ourselves.
Yeah, it was an amazing breakfast experience, though, and thank you to Disney Vacation Club for continuing to have these little magical extras for grand openings of resorts, because I think they're just a little special ad that make you feel special for being here. Someone I
Yeah.
know earlier said, "Did you get a corksicle?"
We did not.
we
That
did
was
not.
that was Josh. Yeah.
Yeah. So we did not get a corksicle for.
Yeah. So
staying
we
here.
didn't get the gifts like
Nope.
they did for.
Disneyland, but
Yeah.
equally great value is that breakfast. You would
It
spend,
was. Yeah.
you would spend $40 to $50, if not more, per person,
Right.
for a family style breakfast of that nature. Let alone the fact that you had the hoop-de-doo players actually
Yeah. Well,
mingling,
two of them, yeah.
mingling around
Mhm.
and chatting, and then also there were. Ryan March. Ryan is the senior editor of the Disney Files magazine. So that is that Disney Vacation Club publication that you get in the mail. I think every other month, or however, I don't know. I forget how often they actually put that out. And then Brett Ewan, I think is how you pronounce it. And Brett is not only the voice of Mickey Mouse currently, but also a Disney animator and a Disney fine artist. And
Yeah.
so they were on stage talking a little bit about the inspiration for their recent book that just came out, a
Mhm.
children's book called Camp Mickey and Minnie One Wild Summer. And they gave everyone a signed copy of the book, as well as this little lithograph piece of artwork
Yeah.
that has Chippendale.
And it has the cabin in the back with
one
Pluto
of the-
on
one
with
of the
Pluto on it
cabins.
because it's dog friendly.
Oh,
He's
Pluto.
allowed to come.
Brett, we were joking and talking with Brett when he signed our thing, and I said, "If only we could have 3 dogs." And Brett goes, "Well, you could sneak it in," and I was like, "No, yeah, someone would find out probably."
But it was cute, and then they were there, so you could go talk to them, and like Paul said, and they personalized it too. So even though they were pre-signed, they wrote to Amy and Paul or whoever. So I just thought that was a cute touch. So we did get that
Yeah,
at the breakfast.
And again, this is we used our points just as any other member. Booked
Yeah.
this on opening day. So just
Yeah.
another special ad that makes it feel special to be a part of this community. And Shannon, I think, was the one that when he was up on stage talking, he kind of said that one of the reasons that they did this resort was kind of member feedback. We've touched on some of those things already, but unique room accommodation types, location in terms of accessibility to Magic Kingdom, all of these things are factored into this.
Yeah.
I'm sure behind the scenes there are some other things in play. I don't want to negate that. I'm sure that financially it made sense to convert this.
This is another Magic Kingdom resort.
Yep.
And even though, it's a larger resort and you have to take some inner resort transportation to get around, you can see fireworks.
Yeah.
You can go to the beach down here and watch Happily Ever After.
They pipe in the music and everything.
Yeah. So. You can watch the electric water pageant. It comes to Fort Wilderness, so you can come down to the beach and watch it. And they have so much going on here. We went to the sing-along yesterday and the campfire, and we got a pack of s'mores. And
we got enough s'mores for the next year. They sell packs of s'mores at the Chippendale Campfire Sing-Along. It's like $10 basically after tax. And you get 24 marshmallows. You get a pack of graham crackers.
Yeah, two cookie bars. So it's in 2 sticks. And you can have more sticks if you need them.
Yeah. There were also people, so just keep in mind, Disney Vacation Club members, you're looking for something to maybe put in your owner's locker or something. Just put s'more stuff if you're coming to the cabins, because people were bringing their own marshmallows.
People had their own sticks, their own marshmallows. Yeah, so you could do that as well.
Yeah. So one question, we'll come back into the cabin in a minute. One question that we've gotten a bunch just online in some of our content that we've posted is questions about golf carts. And I did want to address that while we were on this tonight, because I think it's a very important question. So first and foremost, dvcfan.com, in the search bar, put golf cart, and you'll see an amazing article that Amy wrote about the new rules here at Fort Wilderness now that this has been converted to a Disney Vacation Club property, because they have changed. So if you do want to have a golf cart while you are here at Fort Wilderness, it's very common. There are people all over the place. A lot of people bring their own golf carts with them. The big thing that has changed is outside vendors, essentially. That you no longer can actually have a vendor that is not Disney bring a golf cart to Fort Wilderness for you and drop it off. Those vendors are still in business, and weird stuff going on with them and how they actually arrange that. But the official rule is that you either have to rent a golf cart from Disney here at Fort Wilderness, or you have to bring your own golf cart and proof of insurance for the drivers of that cart in order to have that on property. Those are the big changes. The golf carts are pricey as well. They start at $70 per night, and I believe for a 6-seater can go up to like $90, if not more.
Yeah, I think it starts at $90. The article says.
The article has all the details. The article also has the correct phone number if you're looking to reserve one.
Right, because they put out the phone number to Shades of Green at first, and I called it.
So for us, for this weekend, we wanted to try a golf cart. We wanted to experience it and kind of understand what life here would be like if we did not have a golf cart. The only places you could bring your vehicle, if you bring a car with you or you rent a car, would be to park it up at the front of the resort, or to drive it back to your cabin and just park it at your cabin.
That's it.
You would not be able to take it all the way up to the main area, the
Pioneer Hall type area. Yeah, you can't. There's no
the Meadows area. There's
parking.
No car parking in those areas. So if you do not have a golf cart, you can utilize the resort transportation. So basically a bus shuttle system that will take you throughout the resort, take you up to the front of the park, or up to the front of Fort Wilderness, where you can get on a park bus and go to the parks for a day, take you over to the Settlers Ridge area, where you can then go on the boat and head over to Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
And so there are buses running. Yeah. There are plenty of buses.
You could walk it, but it is a lot of walking. Yep. Or you could rent a bike, or you could bring your own bike if you had that ability, and that is also an option. So you could bike everywhere. And if you do bike, there are places to lock your bike up and, hold on to it.
Yeah. So my biggest takeaway from this is, if you are planning a resort-only stay, so if you're planning to come to Fort Wilderness and just experience the resort, I would argue that a golf cart is worth it,
Yeah.
even though it's an added expense, because it's going to help you navigate around the resort a little bit better. All the golf carts are plug-in charging, and there are plugs right outside the cabin where you park it. So you just plug it in overnight, and you've got a full charge the next day. So very convenient, and it makes it easy to
Yeah.
navigate.
And I know one of the concerns was there being enough golf carts because they can run out. Since they changed the rules, they have beefed up their golf cart inventory because we actually ended up with a new golf cart, so they obviously have bought more. But we do recommend that you call ahead of time if you're going to reserve one. But they also had plenty. They said available even if today. Yesterday when we went to get it, they said, okay, I got golf carts available, but we actually had already had a reservation. So definitely call ahead if you can, but if not.
If you are planning to hit the parks hard, though, definitely pass on the golf cart.
Yeah.
Overall, it is not an expense you must take. It is a luxury that kind of just adds to your
ease of getting around.
And if you do have a car that has a hitch, or if you are driving and you own your own golf cart, very easy for you to bring your golf cart with you here as well. And if you do have a car that has a hitch, I imagine that some of the third-party providers make it a little bit easier to just pick up that golf cart off property and drive it on with you when you come here. So all different options, but a lot of golf cart questions.
Yeah.
What else?
So we keep getting this question, and I definitely want to address it. And that is this designated as a one-bedroom category? And my answer to that would be no. I don't think this is designated as a one-bedroom or a studio. I think that these cabins are kind of their own special category. Similar to how the tree houses in Saratoga, they have 3 bedrooms, but they're not grand villas, right? And you're not paying grand villa pricing per point to stay at them. So I would look at these as, I don't know if you call it like studio plus or one bedroom minus. I don't know. But here's the thing. Yes, there's no laundry, but you're getting a living space, you're getting a full kitchen, you're getting a separate bedroom, you're getting room for 6 people, and tonight, July, what is today? July 2nd. This is a Tuesday. 20 points per night. So, in comparison, I have some stats just to compare.
But while she gets her stats out, I will say the Disney Vacation Club does officially call this a one-bedroom cabin. So just keep that in mind.
I get it. That's because it has 1 bedroom. But I'm just saying, like, you can't compare this because of the cost, because of the point.
And in the same breath, in the presentation that we were in today, again, to your point, they were comparing these to the unique accommodations, like a bungalow or like the Cascade cabins. This is a unique accommodation type. They even use the Duo Studios or the Tower Studios as another example.
Right, as a unique accommodation. So tonight was 20 points. You can get this cabin as low as 15 points per night in September. 15 points per night. Like that just, I don't know, that number blows my mind. So, and I know that the dues are high, but first of all, a lot of you guys are probably going to be booking these with other points and not buying into the cabins, which is our case. And if you do buy in, you require less points than you would if you were buying into, say, Grand Floridian or Riviera. So you would need less points, so you would pay less in dues that way. But anyway, so just some overview. Here are some of the higher price studios. So tonight, I'm just looking at tonight. 20 points for this cabin. Bay Lake Tower, Lakeview, 19 points tonight, 21 points, Theme Park View. This is for a studio, not a 1 bedroom. This is for a studio. Poly Studio, 20 points standard. Lake was 24 tonight. Riviera, 17 standard, 21 preferred tonight. Grand Floridian, 18 standard, 22 Lake or Lagoon, 28 Theme Park View tonight. Disneyland Hotel, 23 points for a standard, 28, which overlooks like the dumpster area. I'm pretty sure Ryan had that room. 28 points for the preferred. Now, going up to a 1 bedroom. So this is a 1 bedroom. Just the only thing it's missing from the 1 bedroom to me is the washer and dryer. Okay. The So 20 points tonight for this room. The cheapest one bedroom tonight is Old Key West at 26 points.
Maybe a second half bath. I'd add that maybe in some cases.
Maybe, but no. But most one bedrooms only have one. We only have two that have two. Okay, Saratoga 28 points for a one bedroom tonight. Copper Creek 34 points for a one bedroom tonight. Beach Club 35 points. Bay Lake 31. These are all standard view one bedrooms. Animal Kingdom 27. Grand Floridian 41 for standard view one bedrooms. So when you look at the 20 points for this, it's less than some of the more expensive studios tonight. It's less than every single one bedroom.
Yeah.
Every single one bedroom without fail.
Yeah.
By at least 6 points or more.
Carrie,
it's getting a little bit hot.
Carrie, while Amy was going through that, said, I feel like all of us just got a second home resort since not many people are going to buy these. I would agree with that, at least for this short-term period of time. But I had someone actually ask me earlier today, what is the accessibility like at the 7-month window? And right now at the 7-month window, it's gone. There is no availability right at the 7-month window.
When it first opened up, though,
it was a little bit better.
It was a lot easier, especially in August. It was really easy. I think there's going to be months. What's 7 months from right now?
So right now it's the time frame in which you would kind of say that's weird, because it basically 7 months from right now is February 2nd. So
okay. February is kind of
it falls
strange.
into there's a couple holidays.
President's weekend, we got Princess in February.
We're not quite there yet, but it's a weird time frame. But I would say it has tightened up very quickly in terms of availability, and I think Disney Vacation Club is keeping a closer eye on kind of that distribution. Because again, remember, there's only a certain percentage that are declared to Disney Vacation Club, and until they sell more, they won't declare more, and the rest of the resort, they're essentially renting. So they're essentially renting cash reservations to the rest of the resort. That's what you see if you go onto DisneyWorld.com and you look at the cabins at Fort Wilderness and try to book something. That's exactly what you're doing. You are renting from the Disney Vacation Club property. So I think they're going to keep a better eye on that. And as this resort fills up, this is my one thing. If you want to come here, if you want to try this accommodation type, who knows how long it's going to take for this to sell out? It's not been selling all that well so far. But when it does, I think it will become extremely difficult to get in here, because I do believe the people that buy here are buying here because they really want to stay here.
Mm-hmm. And they're going to be loyal.
Yeah. And that is, again, it is a different vibe here at Fort Wilderness. And I think these people love this resort. Yeah. So if the people,
but I still think, and that's with any resort, you always find some openings. You always find some cancellations. So as long as you can be somewhat flexible and keep an eye on things, I definitely think that most members will be able to come and stay. Something I do want to mention. This does kind of, a lot of DVC members I think aren't going to know this.
Yeah.
Pool towels.
Pool towels.
So every resort at Disney, value, moderate, deluxe, offers towels at the pool where you can just grab as many as you need and then you throw them back in the towel return. That is not a thing here at Fort Wilderness. So we brought our swim stuff, but we actually have never had time. We just were checking out the pool yesterday and we noticed nobody had white towels. Everyone's towels were personal, their own colorful whatever beach towels that they brought from home. And we're like, where are all the towels? So we did some research and we realized that they do not provide towels for the pools here. I say that word weird, I know.
You do, yes.
Swimming pools.
That was even weirder.
Anyway, so you're encouraged, basically if you're staying in a cabin, the Plan Disney site encourages you to take the towels from your room if you need to, and to have housekeeping replenish them. But that would mean that you would have to call them. So it might be worth, if you don't want to pack towels.
We got Hey Disney. You don't have to use a phone.
That's true. You could use Hey Disney. I guess that does make it a lot easier. But if you don't want to pack towels and you're going to swim, I would do that as soon as I got here.
Yes.
And have a spare pair.
Yeah. The moment you got here.
already ready.
And
to
also,
go.
this is not like, keep in mind, this is the biggest acreage of a Disney property. There is so much property out here in Fort Wilderness. I'm surprised that they didn't just say, let's take this chunk and build a tower and put a bunch of Disney Vacation Club rooms in that. They still might eventually. It's called what was formerly known as Reflections.
Something is coming there. That is prime real estate. We were just looking at it today, and they redid that sidewalk. Kind of like all around there.
They did, and there's some parking over there for cast members.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. They're going to do something there eventually for sure. But it's so big that for mousekeeping to come to the cabins, they have golf carts. And so it is not going to be, you're in the same building as Boardwalk and your towels show up 10 to 15 minutes later. I'm imagining it could be like a half hour or so before your towels actually show up. So keep that in mind. Pool towels not included at the pool. If you are a cabin guest, you can bring towels from your room, but it might be easier to bring a towel with you. Going back to the exterior of the cabin, did want to point out, Mark asked, can you plug your Tesla at the cabins? I thought I saw something about EV charging. Yes, you can. The same outlet that you would plug the golf cart into, you could plug your Tesla charger into. This is
you need the adapter.
You would need you would essentially need the adapter kit, but it also is not going to charge it fast. So this is just like a standard 110 outlet or something. I don't think it's an extra strength outlet. So I imagine that you are going to get very, very minimal miles in terms of how quickly it charges. I know I plugged mine in at Grand Floridian once, and it was like 2 to 3 miles an hour. And I was like, that's not going to cut it. So
yeah.
There's EV chargers other places.
Okay, so we've missed a ton of questions.
If we missed your question, go ahead and put them in the comments now, and we will come back to them because
it's
I think
hard
we're kind of
scroll back.
Yeah, it's a little harder to scroll back, and we've kind of wrapped up most of I think what we wanted to talk about just in kind of an overview. So now it's time for you all to ask us questions, and we will either know them or we will not. Most likely we will not, but. While we're waiting, DVC Craig said, hi, Paul and Amy. Love the content you guys put out. DVC fans, a huge help for DVC newbies. Thank you guys for all your help.
Thank you,
DVC Craig. You can keep those kind of comments coming all day. We love the positive. I do, while we're waiting for some of those comments to come in, I will say, huge thank you to everyone that we've seen over the past 2 days that have made themselves known to us, that have said hello. We've met so many people. We met some family from West Virginia that said hi this morning at the breakfast. Just so many very, very nice friends and stuff around the cabins. I feel like I still we were on a run this morning and met David, who was staying at a cabin. We ran through the cabin loop. This was before we had our cabin or anything. And David was like, hey, I'm Paul and Amy. And he actually, since we're talking about Teslas and charging, he had his Tesla there and it was plugged in. So I asked him some of the questions about charging your Tesla. So there you go. Thank you to everyone that has said hello
and was
to
it
us.
Nicole? I don't want to mess up the names. The girl with the pretty red dress. Thank you guys for all coming up to us.
So let's get into some of these questions. Let's see.
Well, that's the laundry one is a good one. From Sheila.
Rolf said, is the bed in the master bedroom queen or a full? It is a queen size bed in the master.
And the Murphy is also a queen
size pull down.
And then the
Juan Carlos. Hey, Juan. Hope you're having a good evening. Juan said, are they actually dog friendly? I think for the most part, I can definitely see my dogs very easily sitting in here. Very dog friendly. You could even, if your dogs were well behaved enough, if you had like a large baby gate or something, you could actually put it on the front, I don't know what to call this.
Deck.
Porch,
deck, like
whatever. But you could put it on the deck and actually block them off. So if you wanted to have them outside with you for a little bit. So definitely dog friendly.
Yeah, lots of people walking dogs around Fort Wilderness. So
all
definitely.
kinds of
dogs. And
if
we could have all three, we would have them with us, and because they would just be sleeping, in the corner.
Sheila said, how far away is the laundry facility? It's not far. I could walk to it at the moment if I wanted to. The problem, it's closed.
Yeah, so I don't know, it's out of service. So I think they're working, maybe they're sprucing it up. I'm not sure. I'm sure it's not going to be closed long term. So just this week, it would have been nice if it was open, even though we weren't going to use it
And we
anyway.
are just talking about the closest one to us at the moment.
Yeah,
There are laundry facilities all over
yeah.
Fort
And we did
Wilderness.
visit another one that you could easily get to in a golf cart. But
Yeah, if you had to, it would be kind of a schlep if you did not have a golf cart, and also would you get
yeah.
on the bus with like your hamper full of
Yeah,
laundry?
but the one closest to the cabin that's currently out of service, but I think it looks like they're working on it, is at the pool that is within the cabin area, and it's just on the other side of the building of the like pool facilities, the
Yeah.
swimming pool.
So I definitely think they'll bring that other one back
Yeah.
online eventually. So, that'll be coming back eventually, but right now it's a little bit of an odd situation with the laundry
Yeah.
facilities. Shauna said, looking forward to Summerfest. That is right, DVC Summerfest. DVC Fan Summerfest is coming up at Saratoga Springs a week and a half from now. It's the weekend of July 12th, and we'll be at Saratoga Springs. We'll actually be doing a live stream with the entire DVC show team from a treehouse villa, so another unique accommodation at Saratoga. We're then going to kind of bebop around Disney Springs that evening, try some amazing foods, drinks, that kind of stuff from the Flavors of Florida menu that they recently came out with, and then watch the drone show from Saratoga later that evening, and hopefully meet a lot more of you amazing DVC fans out there. So,
Yeah.
So thank you so much. Vocal Jazz Fan, how tall are the ceilings? Does it feel super spacious in the living room and kitchen?
Yeah,
Y'all are
so
adorable.
they do slope, but they get pretty tall. I feel like we could put like what, a 12-foot Christmas tree
Yeah, they're
right here in front of this window if we really wanted to.
at least
Maybe.
12 feet at the
Yeah.
top, and basically they're slanted, so when it rains, everything kind of goes.
That makes
off
a
the
lot of
end.
sense.
The older cabins also kind of had an open A-frame kind of ceiling concept in
Yeah,
there.
but a lot shorter. A
Yeah.
lot shorter.
So there's definitely plenty of room up here.
Yeah.
You're not going to worry about banging your head or anything like that, I don't think. So.
Are the roofs metal?
They do look metal. I was looking at the one across here earlier. So
last night we had kind of a big storm in our old cabin, and I was thinking it was kind of cool how you could hear it throughout the whole cabin, like how loud the rain and stuff was. And I was thinking about these cabins, and I was wondering, I wonder what that rain sounds like hitting the metal roof. I like that sound, but
Yeah.
is it? I thought it was supposed to storm tonight.
We'll find out.
I hope it does.
Hasn't yet, and thankfully not, because
After
otherwise
the live stream.
this live stream probably would not be happening.
Right.
Antonio said, would you consider this glamping? In my opinion, yes. I am not much in the camping or glamping community,
Yeah.
but this is a elevated camping experience, so I would definitely have to put it in my dictionary as that kind of glamping vibe that I think a lot of people associate that with. What about Bell Services? Do they have that there? I have a stay next week, one of my owner's lockers sent there, and have groceries delivered. So I don't know specifically about owners' lockers and delivery. I know that they probably will do delivery here, similar to other places, and they do kind of have a front reception area. So I would not expect to have any problems with that. But I will point out this, that I thought was very, very interesting. Brooke McDonald, who is a theme parks journalist, was here as part of the media event. And she's a Disney Vacation Club member also. And she transferred from the cabins over to Boardwalk for the remainder of their family's vacation.
It just started raining.
No, I think.
I swear.
No,
oh, no, that's the air.
that's-
I'm an
that's
idiot.
the air.
I can hear Happily Ever After. It's okay. The air sounds like rain. The
It
AC.
does. It's probably loud.
Yeah.
Let us know if the air got loud for you guys, or if the audio
we'll turn it off
we'll
and
turn it off
roast.
and roast more. But going back to that, they were up at the front of the resort, and they were waiting for an Uber to take them over with their luggage to Boardwalk. And in Brooke's stories, they said, "Are you transferring to a different resort?" And she said, "Yes." And she said, "Oh, we provide vans here. It is only at Fort Wilderness,
Mm-hmm.
apparently, but you can all of their luggage
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh, that's
them,
nice.
and they got in the van and they
Mhm.
were taken over to absolutely free, included
Yeah.
as part of it. And I guess the reasoning they gave was because they do have some much larger vans here at Fort
Mm-hmm.
Wilderness because of how large the resort is and everything, and it is a service only offered at Fort Wilderness. So I thought that was like kind of a cool thing that doesn't answer Piano Man's question, but I somehow got there. I'm not quite sure kind of how I got
Somebody
there.
asked about the blinds. Did you see that?
We'll get there. I
Oh,
know.
okay.
I think I'm very
Okay.
very much. Johnny O'Connor is not having Fozzie Bear meet and greet at the Fort Wilderness Cabins a missed opportunity. Yes, for Muppets.
Kermit with a banjo.
Ooh, yeah. When we were running this morning, and Kermit with a banjo is exactly what I think we ran by at one point, because there was so much noise coming from like this little pond area, and
yeah.
a billion frogs in there, just like making their music in the early morning hours. So they would do that. Antonio said, "Would you say no parks, just enjoy the area?" I would definitely spend a weekend here. At least,
yeah. A
if
weekend
not more.
is good for doing that. If you like the outdoors, maybe a little longer. For example, if you want to fish, there was fishing. If you would enjoy the kayaking, there was horseback riding. Some of the things I wish we had done that we didn't were the trail horseback riding. We watched them going out today, and it looked a lot of fun. You don't really need any experience. And I want to do the archery experience. We did a kayak. We saw some people fishing.
Did you mention the painting already?
Oh no, we didn't. Yeah, we didn't mention that. But I do want to say, we didn't spend any time at the swimming pool.
Nope.
Which we could have done that. If we had dogs, I would have taken them to the dog park. I would have went for walks with them. And then you can talk about the painting.
Yeah, similar to over at Disney's Wilderness Lodge, they do kind of a painting, and I'm basically going to call it a paint and sip, for lack of a better term, where you actually can custom paint your own kind of piece of wood board, almost like I almost want to think of it as like a display tray or maybe a charcuterie board or something, and you can paint it with the Wilderness Lodge logo or something.
Yeah.
They have a similar class here at Fort Wilderness as well.
Mm-hmm.
We noticed them doing that at Crockett's Tavern.
Yeah, and if you have kids, there's multiple playgrounds. There's volleyball courts. There's there's activities going on that we haven't even looked at.
Yeah.
And just not even just the 4th of July. They're having a parade and they're having all kind of stuff. But there's all sorts of daily activities as well. There's a campfire every night. There's a sing along every night. There's movies on a big screen, and there's plenty of places to sit. So just there's so much going on. So if you can come and just do a resort only, you would probably have a nice, enjoyable, relaxing time.
Sunny said, "What is the cash price of the cabin last night? How does it compare to the 20 points?" I believe the cabin last night was in the lower 300s.
Yeah, so we're talking about an old cabin.
This was an older cabin. When they did start to release cash sales for the new cabins, I want to say they started pushing up close to $400, probably peak season even higher than that.
I would say the 20 points is a good value. This is where having points is going to get you the best bang for your buck here.
Yeah. Not necessarily cabins related, maybe if you choose this as your answer. Brad said, "What's your favorite room and resort for a family plus in-laws?" Well, Brad, we've actually done this trip. We did it with our mothers back when we were in Wheeling with both of our moms, and we did a 2-bedroom value accommodation at Jumbo House. Now, those are Amy actually wrote an article called "The Elusive 2-Bedroom Value Resort," because you want to talk about the hardest to get accommodations here. That is one of them, as well as the club level at Jumbo House at Animal Kingdom Lodge. But that fit our family perfectly, I would say.
Yeah.
Is that your answer?
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking. I mean, it depends on what your goals are. Are you looking to impress them and splurge on all your points? Then get them a grand villa at Grand Floridian, and they will think you are the richest person on earth.
So, Brad,
are you looking to save points like we did? Go to Saratoga, Old Key West. Old Key West are very, very big spaces. So that is a great place to take family. But if you want to be immersed in the parks and really close to the parks, then you probably want a monorail resort or an Epcot area resort.
So, Brad, follow-up question to you is how much do you love your in-laws and how much do you want to impress them?
And how many points do you want to spend?
How many points do you want
You
to...
could bring them here, too. If they like the outdoors, they would love this.
And you would be very close. You would be very close. David said, how do you close the shades on the upper windows? There is a pull chain just actually right next to me that will close those.
It's very smooth, very new,
Not
and it's
Old Key West.
not hard to do like at Old Key West.
So Johnny said, like other DVC resorts, do Fort Wilderness have any special characters come by?
Yes.
So,
Chippendale seems to be around a decent, and like I don't know that we've seen them. Oh yeah, they were at the campfire, and then one other time we were walking around here before we saw them.
We did, remember? Yeah. They were just kind of bebopping around the area. So, and I imagine they probably have. You're not going to see it necessarily out in the actual resort. You're going to probably see it in the Meadows area or over Pioneer Hall area. And they probably do bring out the roaming characters from time to time.
Now, this is an outside resort, right? You're not in an interior lobby or anything like that. And it is July, so we're probably seeing less characters now because of the summer and it being warmer in Florida. I bet that as we get to the cooler months, you might see them more often.
Yeah.
Don't hold me to that, but...
Antonio said, is breakfast available anywhere there? Yes. Trails End is basically your quick service restaurant where you can get traditional, probably a bounty platter or something similar to that. So plenty of breakfast there. I think most people staying here at Fort Wilderness are doing a lot of cooking themselves and getting groceries brought in. So, they don't feel the need to have much more than that in terms of breakfast options. Mr. Taco said, does each cabin have a fire pit or open flames prohibited? Any type of actual open flames in terms of that concept or having like a fire, I believe is prohibited. There are charcoal grills outside of each and every cabin, so you can go ahead and grill there. I had someone also ask me yesterday if recreational fireworks were permitted. No, we are at Disney World. That's a no.
So that's going to be a main difference between camping somewhere else is you can't have a fire here.
Let's see. In your opinion, how many adults would comfortably fit in the cabin?
I would say 4.
Yeah, I would agree
in my opinion.
And that's going to give you the most privacy. So, like, our good friends, Jeff and Amy, or Jeff and Dan, or Phil and Pauline, or if I forgot you and you're my friend, I'm sorry. I'm just giving examples. But if any of those people were like, hey, do you want to split a cabin? I think 4 would be the max that you would do, just because you do want to have some level of privacy. Yeah,
and someone takes the bedroom and someone takes the Murphy bed, and you do have to share one bathroom, so you do have to keep that in mind.
Yeah, and if you do have to go to the bathroom at night, you are walking out of the bedroom and through.
That is true too. But that's not much different than any other one bedroom.
And now I am hearing the fireworks that Amy said she heard earlier.
Yeah,
but there is no rain.
There's no rain. So. It's air and fireworks.
Yeah. So just going through, did they set a maximum dog size or weight limit for the cabins? I'm not aware of any size or weight restriction that was impacted us, and we've seen some large dogs here.
Yeah, big dogs.
I don't think there's anything there. Obviously, I believe there are probably some prohibited breeds that,
and Lauren De La Cruz did a really good pet policy blog on DVC Fan. So if you just go in the DVC Fan and you use that search bar and look up pet policy, can you go to the comment up right there about dogs, the Sheila's one? Yeah. So Sheila said, if we bring our dogs, how do we let them know so we can get a cabin that's dog friendly? There's no option when we book. That is a really good question. And some other people were asking, how do we make sure we get a cabin that has not had dogs in it? I'm going to be honest with you guys. You're right. When you book, there's nowhere to specify you're going to bring a dog. We were not asked until we were checking in today.
I do not know specifically if there is a designation.
Yeah, I don't know.
Honestly, that would be a great question for someone to ask, that maybe it does have severe pet allergies or something like that. And I think this is part of the reason why there is a pet fee, is because maybe they go an extra degree of cleaning. But for those of you that are allergic, that's maybe not a risk that you want to take. I would be surprised if they
Mm.
don't say, this number of cabins eventually are not necessarily
Or maybe they'll have allergen-free cabins. I don't
allergy-friendly
know.
cabin. Yeah,
But that is something that if that's going to be a problem for you and your family, I would definitely inquire ahead of time, because we have
Before you
not
book,
yet
yeah.
seen evidence of there being a separation, and we were not asked about bringing dogs until we were at the check-in desk today
correct.
to get our cabin. So I just wanted to make sure you guys knew where that stood.
Cameron said, I know it's early, but do you think there will be a DVC fan Winterfest? Honestly, probably not a Winterfest, but we are thinking about having some sort of meetup around the grand opening of the Polynesian. So maybe the second or third night that the Polynesian is open, we will plan to have some sort of meetup event, maybe on the Polynesian, beach area to watch the fireworks, something small in that nature. We have so much going on. Just thinking about the end of this year already is it's absolute insanity, and then we have to basically cover a massive new resort again and all that kind of fun stuff at the Polynesian. So I don't know that we will do that, but we have been talking behind the scenes a lot about doing something next year bigger that gives everyone the availability to book at the 7 to 11 month window. So more details on that coming in the future, but the success of the Summerfest weekends is not going unnoticed, and that's probably where I'll end that, is that there's a lot of talk going on behind the scenes with all of that. So how far is the walk to the pool, Aaron asked? From the current loop that is open, you could be there in less than 5 minutes. From any of the other cabin loops, I would say 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah. Now we're talking about the smaller pool that's in the cabin area.
Not the Meadows pool area. So this is the actual pool that was declared as part of the cabin's transition here. Mm-hmm. So it is basically what you would normally refer to as the DVC pool.
Yeah, it's like the quiet pool. You know what I mean? Now, everything is walkable depending on what walkable means to you. But I would say that it would probably be like a 20-minute walk maybe to get to the Meadows pool. I'm just pulling numbers out of my butt, but it feels like it's a little further.
Yeah.
Unless you really huff it fast, maybe faster.
So we'll go through maybe like 10 or 15 more questions and then wrap it up, because there's strawberry shortcake in the fridge that's
and I
calling
am
my name.
So thirsty. And I left that Powerade in there.
Your water's like over there.
I know, it's too far. I'll trip over that cord right there.
Oh yeah, if the live stream ends, that's because Amy ripped a cord out of a wall.
Johnny O'Connor wants Kermit riding around Fort Wilderness with Banjo.
Jassy said, if we don't rent a golf cart or drive a car, how can we bring the suitcases from the front desk? Any suggestions? I imagine that if you ask them, they will probably, similar to the other resorts like Old Key West, hop on a golf cart.
Yeah. So if you didn't know this, because we didn't know this until it happened to us, that they just offered, but at Old Key West and Saratoga, the Bell Services will take your luggage for you on a golf cart to your building.
Yep.
So I'm guessing the same. You could have the same here.
Exactly. So Simone.
Can you swivel the TV? Paul probably won't let me try. I tried to swivel the one in the bedroom.
She tried to rip the one in the bedroom almost off the wall.
No, I was very carefully.
So she was trying to. I've not actually looked behind the TV.
I'm going to look.
I will look behind the TV before you touch it again. But you can talk amongst yourselves.
I don't. It's.
No. So the system that is actually there on this TV is going to allow you to tilt it up or down a little bit, but not tilt it left or right.
I know it's weird that it is, what's the word, perpendicular to the couch. But you could, hear me out, you could open up the Murphy bed and you could lounge on it and have a movie night and be kind of straight on if you wanted to.
Yeah.
If you were sitting at the table, you can see the TV really easily. I just think that logistically, this wall is all glass. And I think they wanted to have as much natural light as possible, so there was nowhere to put the TV across from the couch. And that is another question that someone asked that we missed. Way up top, they said, how much natural light is there? there's a ton.
Yeah.
It is so much lighter and brighter and cheerier than the older cabins, which to me, and I don't want to offend anybody, it's just a personal opinion, felt kind of drab, and dark.
Yeah, it's much brighter, much lighter than the older cabins for
And
sure.
you can have as much or as little natural light as you want because you can use the blinds and close it.
Jacob said, is there any pin trading that you've seen? Yes, in the gift shops there are pin
Yeah,
trading
for sure.
boards, so plenty of pin trading going on here as well. Rena, are there curtains at the top windows? Yes, there are. They pull down with a little pull chain.
They are blinds, so not curtains, which I like a lot better. It feels cleaner. Especially since, like I said, there was cobwebs and sketchy things behind the curtains in our old cabin. So,
Frank said, "Are Jeff and Panda hiding somewhere in there?" No, because if they were hiding somewhere in here, you would have heard them either laugh or make a funny joke at this point, at some point in the show. So,
so Jeff bought a house today. So, congrats to him.
Congratulations
so he was very busy today.
To Jeff, on his new home purchase. So. We're very excited for him. We're meeting up with him for the 4th of July. Frank also said, how many of the new cabins are installed? Amy wants to go around, and I think we might do this in the morning. I want to count
tomorrow. I will count.
Well, you could probably just count on the map, like
actually,
how many are in this. You don't have to do it right now. We will do that another time and let you know the answer to that question. My guess is somewhere around 30.
It feels like
30-ish cabins.
And somebody asked how many had the ramp, the accessible ramp, and I feel like I've only seen 2 in this loop that had it. Do you think that sounds accurate? 2 to 3?
Yeah.
But this is a smaller loop compared to some of the other upcoming loops. So my guess is it will see 2 to 3 fully accessible with a wheelchair ramp per cabin loop.
Yeah.
That's just a guess, though.
Let's see. Mr. Poe, I was actually just checking the cabins on the Walt Disney World website. They are listed under moderate resort. Now that you guys are actually experiencing it, would you indeed call it a moderate?
To me, this is just something special and in between. I think that Disney in general, I think that we're moving out of that. Why does everything have to fit into these 3 boxes, right?
Yes.
There's value,
I agree.
moderate, deluxe. Like there's gray areas, and Fort Wilderness has always been one of those kind of gray areas, I think. Yeah. And I don't know. There's other. I think that we might see other resorts that don't really fall in perfectly into one of those boxes. To me, this feels like a very deluxe accommodation, but the amenities outside the resort. When you look at the swimming pool, there's 2. They're not, there's nothing overly special about them. When you look at the dining, like there's no signature dining or anything like that. Yeah. So those things don't fall into a deluxe category. But at the same time, there's so much to do here. And so it just depends on what you're looking for.
It's expanding the portfolio to say, if you want deluxe, we've got Riviera, and that is your deluxe level property. It is absolutely gorgeous, and it was built to be that. But if that's not what you're looking for, if you're the camping style family that loves to go camping, we've got Fort Wilderness for you. So again, there are up level, there are increased options in this cabin as compared to the other older cabins.
And honestly, when you look at something like Hilton Head, you're not walking into any grand lobby. It's a tiny little room with a desk, and there's just one quick service restaurant on property. And so, that to me, if you like the beach, that's going to be your perfect DVC resort for you. So not everything has to fit into this perfect value, moderate, deluxe box in my head. So I think there's unique
it's looking
accommodations outside of that.
It's looking at what is that clientele base and how do we expand it, and this is how they expand it as they try these new things. So it'll be really interesting to just see how long it takes to sell this out and how much people love it over the years. Do the people that are Fort Wilderness customers slowly adopt to the new cabin lifestyle? Juan Carlos said, would you do the dining plan here? I don't know that I'd specifically buy it for Fort Wilderness. If you're doing a parks trip, then it really
Yeah.
depends on your
No,
personal
because it
experience.
doesn't probably doesn't cover the snow cone ice cream truck that we stopped at
Well,
today.
also no, because I would probably waste a 7-day dining plan on 3 hoopty-doos, and
Right, and
that would
that's
be it.
2 credits each.
Yeah, and then I'd just be eating like snack bananas for the rest of my trip or something in
Yeah.
the quick service. So I would not do it because I would book too many hoop-de-doos. One that's
That and Crockett's Tavern is a lounge, and typically dining plans don't cover lounge food, and it's one of the best places to eat here. That fried green tomato sandwich is so good.
yeah. So
That was an interesting one, the resale prices question.
where Frank, what would you guess the resale price for a cabin points to be? With the dues, we're guessing 150 per point. Uh, I don't know that we're going to know the answer to this for quite some time. You even look at like when Riviera started to come on the resale market, even the Disneyland Hotel started to come on the resale market. It's just a really guessing game. Some of the early ones,
Yeah.
when they first pop on, are going to be people that are a distressed seller for one reason or another. So until we have a pure volume,
And have a loan to pay off usually.
yeah, and the
Yeah.
other thing is there's just it's going to be much different because of the right now how few points have sold.
Right.
So
And these will have the resale restrictions.
they will.
But if you're buying Fort Wilderness because you want to be at Fort Wilderness, then you're probably going to be using the points here anyway. You know what I mean? I kind of view this as one of those types of resorts. So I would, my guess would be anywhere between. I'm going to go with an average of 140. That's my guess. You heard
140.
it here first.
We'll see how well that ages in a year or
Probably
so.
not good. Nothing I say ages
Let's
well.
see. Steven said, "Do you foresee this resort as the next Alani, which will never show out?"
If it does, I don't think they care. I think
do
they
not
can
think
sell
they care.
cash probably just as easily.
And I think that was part of the idea in them converting this, was because we've said this on previous shows, but the decision was probably made that by converting it to DVC, there were certain savings associated with upgrading the cabins that they could,
Yeah.
whether it's
As
tax
well as
savings,
maintenance
savings, whatever those savings are. I think when you looked at it on paper, they said this makes sense, and we know we can book them. We know people are going to come and stay in them, whether it's cash or whether it's people. So it's a win if people don't buy. It's a win if it sells out eventually.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they've said about Alani at this present time too. Like I don't think they
Right.
care as
The
much
cash
about Alani anymore.
prices for Alani are so high,
Bonkers.
and
Bonkers.
Alani is busy, so it's obviously I do want to answer the air conditioning question.
Johnny said, "How's the air conditioning compared to other DVC resorts?"
I think it's great. So we have it on 75 right now because Paul didn't want it to kick on and be loud. Even though it kicked on a little bit ago.
Yep.
But when we checked in, it was on 72.
72,
And
very comfortable.
Very comfortable in here. And also, there's a unit, like a different unit. There's 2 thermostats, actually.
It's a mini split system. If anyone is in the HVAC world, I think that's the correct term for it.
There's a thermostat in the bedroom, and it controls a unit that actually sits on the opposite side of the door above it. And that blows out air, and then there's a thermostat right over here on the wall by the door, and that controls a unit that is in a locked cabinet or closet over on the way to the bathroom.
Yep.
So plenty of AC. In our experience so far, it's been very good.
Yep. Laserboy said, "How much are golf cart rentals? If you rent them on property here, first off, make sure that you do an advanced reservation in case they would potentially run out, but they do range anywhere from $70 to $90 depending on what size you are looking for. They have 4-seaters and they have 6-seaters. Also, I've seen 2 cases while we've been here of people having to push 6-seaters for one reason or another. So
they're very
they're
long.
They're
and
long. I don't know
heavy.
if you have 6 people, does the battery work harder and they run out of battery more quickly?
I don't know either.
I don't know. But Frank, can you stream an Apple device or does a TV have streaming options? Yes, they are the new smart TVs here. So you will see it actually right there. It says connect my device. So you can actually connect your device and stream from this as well. And
We got a
Frostbite sent us a super chat and
thank
said,
you.
"Thank you, Frostbite."
You know who that is, right?
No,
That's our buddy from
our buddy.
that we went to Lamplight Lounge with.
We're gonna need more
Lamplight Lounge.
specifics.
I know. It's been such a long day that I don't want to be embarrassingly say, why can't the name come to me?
Wow.
I know.
He's gonna take his $5 back.
I know. I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness.
Anyhow, do you think DVC will go nuts with the marketing around the cabin site?
Tom Tweedle.
Oh, Tom.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Tom. It's been a long day. We love you. We miss you. Come, let's go to lunch again sometime soon. I'll give you your $5 back. That's fine. YouTube took 3 of it anyhow. So,
I just want you to know I got it before you told me, Tom. I figured it out.
well, we're on a bit of a delay though, so he could have typed that first. So I'm not going to buy that. So.
Well, I didn't see it.
But anyhow, she did not see it. I will give that. Do you think DVC will go nuts with the marketing around the cabin site to the folks staying for Halloween and Christmas? Yes. I 100% do believe that, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
And
I can already see lights. All those lights on that porch right there.
That's not the question.
But I thought you said, wait, DVC.
Will DVC go nuts with the marketing?
I'm sorry. I'm way out of it. I thought he meant like the people staying in the cabins.
Okay. Anyhow.
Yes, I think they will.
And we're seeing that already. I remember coming here to see Hoop-Dee-Doo back in the day and questioning why there was a DVC kiosk when no one was ever there. It was just this little kiosk.
Yeah.
No one was there. There was a Disney Vacation Club sign. I was like, this makes no sense right here outside Hoop-Dee.
You better believe it's staffed now.
Oh,
and now they got those 2 side-by-side.
2 side-by-side models. They have little prints, like little stick-on prints on the sidewalk that show you which direction to go.
They made a crosswalk just for it too, a colorful themed crosswalk.
So you better believe. I think they will run special events here, like bonkers crazy to just kind of really sell this
to get the cabin fans
and
that's
exactly what we said early on to kind of sell these was, why are you not making phone calls to anyone that has booked a cash reservation here over the past year? Like why have you not done those things? So BC Fan 772, if we know who you are, let us know, because we didn't know who Tom was. With people with these obscure Ryan Chung, who's one of our moderators.
Liquid Ice.
Yeah, he changed his name recently, but he used to be Liquid Ice, and I had someone named Liquid Ice saying, "Hey, give me moderator access to YouTube," and I'm like, no, your name is Liquid Ice. I don't know who you are. So there you go. But BC Fan 702, thank you for the super chat. We greatly appreciate it. My mom's a boomer who can't use tech for the life of her. I refer her to Paul.
So is Paul's mom.
And she's raved about how much he's helped her rent her points. You must have the patience of a St. Paul. Thank you.
He's done some hour-long phone calls helping some owners navigate technology and booking.
And here's the thing. It's unfortunate that Disney Vacation Club has operated now for over 30 years, and it's been in an environment which has not included a lot of education or learning. Mm-hmm. And now that technology is allowing us to do this, and now that it is something Amy and I are so passionate about as educators, it just comes natural. And it was funny, like literally the other day, Amy and I, it was Sunday? Yeah.
It was Sunday.
It was Sunday. Amy and I was on call for DVC Rental Store. So for those of you that don't know, I'm a member relations manager there. So I run basically our member operations. But me and 2 other amazing individuals, shout out to Daniel, shout out to Sean, all 3 of us basically make up the member relations department, but we split call coverage on the weekends. So and it's typically like on call, so we'll answer phones and stuff like that and any member questions. And we were geared up to go out to Sam's Club and go to dinner, and the phone rang, and I
Well, it was
answered
supposed to be Sam's Club at lunch. It turned into Sam's Club at dinner.
It did turn into Sam's Club
An
at dinner.
hour, yeah.
But
That
again,
conversation was
I
long.
spoke to a wonderful couple, and it's funny that this got brought up because they actually told me to mention this. They are fans of the show. They do watch us, and they said, "I just want you to know how much you have taught two 70-plus-year-olds about their membership that they've owned for 20 years or so in the past hour. And, we've owned this for that many years, and we've learned more from you in this past hour than we have in those years of owning the membership." And that's profound, and that's why we do this.
Yeah.
That's why we come.
So thank you guys when you tell us things like that, because it means a lot, and it just sometimes there are some long days, and we're trying to cover Monera and DVC rental store and do this and that, and just to hear from you and hear that, it just means a lot.
Yeah.
And it keeps us going.
And thank you again for the super chat. So half a dozen fishies. I love these names. They're just like coming in hot now.
That is the greatest YouTube name ever.
Half a dozen fishies said, "Rofer question for Amy. Do they come in on a certain day of the week?" Or
they are random. Yeah. And sometimes it'll be like one in a week, and sometimes a day will have 5 and a day will have 7, and then it's very random.
Yeah, back in the day, they used to be pretty consistent on Fridays, but that's when there was also doing like a normal Friday was like 40 Rofers.
Yeah.
So,
now it's random, and right now it's only Old Key West and Polynesian that we've seen.
Yeah.
For this year so far.
Yeah, it's definitely been a little bit more specific in those two things. So let's see. Jeff is now with us a couple hours late there. Jeff, I thought you were coming over for whatever happened to that plan.
He's too busy trying to hook up his tech.
Apparently,
because you're not helping him.
Can't figure out his technology. For tech support on that level, Jeff, it's going to be pricey.
You missed this, but somebody did ask if we could hear our neighbors. No. That it is so nice that is another thing about these cabins. We love staying at all the DVC resorts, and we've stayed at every single DVC resort to date. Right, today marks off this one now, but we have had a couple of rough nights. And we typically sleep with like a white noise app on, but we've had some loud neighbors at some of the resorts. It just a variety of different resorts before. If you're on a lower floor, sometimes you can hear people running back and forth above you. Sometimes you can hear people in the hallway walking by late at night, or out on the boardwalk coming back from Jelly Rolls, or the neighbor when you have a lock-off door. That's why I hate lock-off rooms, studios. I love the ones that are dedicated studios. We have not heard any neighbors here. And that is the beauty of sharing no walls with anybody. Nobody is above us. Nobody is below us. It is very, very quiet.
And it's also, I think, a testament to how these cabins are positioned a little bit too.
True, yeah.
In the main bedroom area, the only window that would actually be in that room is literally facing the forest.
Yeah,
so
in a small waterway behind us.
You are far from anything out near the front, and the front is basically your bathroom. So, everything else is back a ways.
Now there are some that are facing the interior cabin loop, but their bedrooms are kind of off to the side more. So they are kind of facing away, like you said.
Alex, going back to the Rofer topic, where can you see when Rofer happens? Is there a public site? We publish at dvcresalemarket.com once a month, a full report of all of the Rovers that have happened in that given month. You will also catch me sometimes on the Disboards reporting if there's been an interesting Rofer event. I do write the blog for DVC Resale Market, reporting on all of the Rovers. This month's blog, this is July 2nd, we are filming this. Tomorrow, July 3rd, this month's Rofer blog will go up, as long as I get 400 other things done as well. And we kind of just do a little commentary about what we've seen in the market that month. So head to dvcresalemarket.com and then just search whatever month it is, or just search for Rofer or right of first refusal, and you should find that in the blog area. But we do that every single month. You were talking about just, I don't remember, but half a dozen fishies wrote in again. It just distracted me, but they said our last name is Fisher and there are 6 of us. Half a dozen fishies. That makes so much sense now.
I was thinking of like Swedish fish, and now I'm
I was thinking of like
craving sweets.
goldfish, not crackers, like real fish.
That is a good. Okay, I love this. Is a very creative handle, I guess. Josh Ware said the Pine Key building is loud. It is. That was one of our worst nights. I swear there was a roller derby above us at 2 a.m.
We've had some loud nights, and Big Pine Key, we've not been back.
Right, and you know, it's a great building. It's just the insulation.
Derek loves it.
Derek thinks it's the best ever.
It is
so
the absolute best ever, and those are fighting words. But so. But that, I think, is going to do it from our live stream coverage of the grand opening of the cabins at Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort. We've had an amazing stay. I feel like one night is not nearly going to be enough in this resort. I already know I'm going to sleep better tonight in this cabin as compared to the old cabin.
Well, I also don't like sleeping against the wall. And the bed in the older cabins is against the wall. It just feels, the walls are cold and they're hard to sleep against. This one is not against the wall. It's more normal.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we have absolutely loved it here. If it is a resort that you are considering for a direct purchase right now, you will not regret it. So I know that a lot of traditional members, this is not checking the boxes for it. And I get that. And we've discussed on this show why we think that the direction of this is going in a different direction. And you know, we'll see how it goes in the coming months. And we're just excited to have another. We say this every time this happens, but it's weird. We've now done Grand Floridian. We've done the Polynesian's coming up. We did Grand Floridian. We did the Disneyland Hotel. We've done the cabins. It just is, I think, an amazing benefit to members every time we get a new resort.
Yeah.
And they add more to this amazing program. So kudos to Disney Vacation Club. I do say you knocked it out of the park. And I think absolutely beautiful. And I can't wait to stay here again. I will say to you all, because you all that are currently watching this live, you are subscribed. But you've not probably hit that little thumbs up button. So go right now, hit that thumbs up like button, because that means a lot. Somewhere, something techie, that means important things. Also, if you're watching this after the fact, please subscribe to our DVC Fan YouTube channel for more content. And if you'd like to support us further, patreon.com/DVCFan. That's where you're going to find the photo of Amy in the bunk bed. That is where you're going to find a bunch of other behind-the-scenes content. Get to know a little bit more about Amy and I, and get to know some more kind of fun behind-the-scenes stuff from the shows and all of that kind of stuff. And we love all of you, the entire DVC fan community. None of this would be possible without you. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts for letting us into your homes and letting us share our love of Disney Vacation Club with you all. And that is going to do it for this special edition of the DVC show. We will see you all back at our regularly scheduled time next Monday. We're going to go eat some strawberry shortcake and enjoy our cabin. Thanks, everybody. Have a good evening.